In today's video, we'll be diving into a tiny but mighty powerhouse, the ESP32-S3. Now, we'll start from scratch. First, we'll be blinking the RGB on this board. Secondly, we'll hook it up with a small OLED display and have it print some text on it, kind of like a small digital display. I'll be sharing the code for each part, so feel free to follow along. Alright, so first, the ESP32-S3. Think of it like a cooler cousin of ESP32. It's got more features, it's got dual cores, more RAM, and built-in support for AI and machine learning. The built-in RGB LED on this board can be used for funky light shows or for status indication to see if there is an error in the script or not. Now we'll be doing all of this in this, so let's jump right into it. In order to write code on this microcontroller, there's two options. We can either use platform IO with VS Code, or we can use Arduino IDE. Both are quite popular options. Personally, I like to use VS Code with platform IO. I like to keep all of my code base in one ecosystem, whether it's JavaScript, Python, C++. So I like to keep all of that at one place. So VS Code works best for me. In order to install platform IO, you can open up the VS Code and go to the extensions section, and you can type in platform IO. Now this is the one that we need to be looking for. Now I already have it installed, so it does not show me an option here, but in your case, if you don't have it, it will show you an option to install it. You can install it, then restart VS Code, and you'll be able to see this small icon over here. Now once you click on this icon, the platform IO options will open up, and by clicking open, you can come to this page. From here we can create a new project. So in order to create a new project, all we need to specify is a project name. In our case, first of all, we'll be blinking the RGB on the board, so I'll just name it ESP32-S3 RGB blink. Okay, and platform IO has options for a lot of different microcontrollers, built-in support for them. In our case, we want to select the ESP32-S3 one. So for the framework, I'll be writing ESP32, and I'll be using this one, 4D Systems Gen 4 ESP32 16 MB R8 N16. So I'll be using this one. I'll click on finish. It will take a couple of seconds and the project will be set up. So here we have one main.cpp file inside of our source directory, and this is where our code needs to be. So let's jump right into coding. So I have pasted the code inside of the main.cpp file in VS Code, and there seems to be an issue in the include of the library. So it says include errors detected, please update your include path. Now this is pretty simple. We can resolve it by going to platform IO. Once again, we'll go to libraries, and inside of these libraries we can search for this library and add it to this project. So I'll just look for Adafruit NeoPixel library. Okay, I'll click on this one and I'll click on add to project. And just like that, the error is now resolved, and we can confirm that the code is correctly written and that there's no errors inside of the code by clicking on this build button over here. So clicking on this will start the build process, and if the build is successful, then that means the code is ready to be flashed inside of our ESP. Alright, so with that error fixed, we are now ready to flash the code inside of our ESP32-S3. So I'll pick one USB-C to USB-C cable. I'll plug one side of it inside the MacBook and the other side in the ESP. Now on the ESP we have two USB-C ports. Now in order to push the code, we want to use the one on the left hand side, just below the RGB light. A small red color light will glow showing that the connection has been made. Now in the VS Code, we want to come over here and make sure that we have the correct port selected for the ESP, because you might have other accessories like keyboard or mouse and some other display connected. We want to make sure that we use the correct port, which in my case is this one. I'll select this and I'll simply push the code. Here I do want to mention that if there is some error in pushing the code, you might want to restart VS Code because we just installed the library. So if we close the VS Code, open it up again, the changes will take effect and the error might fade away. The code is pretty simple. All it does is it loops or alternates between red, green and blue color, and it waits for 2 seconds in between. Now once the code is pushed, we simply want to click on the reset button and the new code will be live. And just like that, we have the RGB LED flashing on the ESP32-S3. Now if you want to, you can use a simple if-else condition inside of the setup or inside of the loop. Let's just say, for example, here, if a certain condition is met, then the RGB color should be green, else if there is an error, it should flash red. So with that, you can customize the ESP to give you the status or information of the code that's running. So in that sense, it's pretty useful. Okay, so moving on to the next code, we want to flash a simple digital text output on an OLED screen. We'll do it with the help of ESP32-S3 and I'll just share the code with you now. Alright, so once again I will share this code with you. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this code inside of the main.cpp, and similar to before, we have some missing libraries here. So we'll just go inside of the platform IO libraries, we'll search for these libraries and install them. So the GFX one is added, and now I'll add this one. I'll just copy this from here and I'll go to libraries. Okay, search for this library. This seems to be the one. I'll click on this and add this to the project. Okay, and just like that, both of the libraries are now included. And just to make sure we have everything set up correctly, I'll close this once and restart it once again. Okay, now everything should be working perfectly fine, and we can double check that by clicking on the build button. And the build was success. This means that our code is working fine, and now we can start making connections with the ESP32. So we're going to be using this small OLED display. Now I have connected the 4 pins on its back side over here. Now we want to make sure that these connections are properly made with the ESP32C. So we have a ground, we have a VCC, we have SCL and SCA. First of all, coming to the ground, which is our green wire, we want to connect it to the ground of the ESP32-S3, which is over here. So we want to attach the green wire with this ground terminal. Secondly, we have VCC, which is the wire with the green wire, which is the blue one. And on the ESP32 we have two options for VCC. So we have 3v3 and 3v3. So we can use either one of these. I'm just going to use this one at the corner. Now coming on the code, we can see that the SDA pin is 8 and SCL is 9. So we want to connect these pins, respective pins of ESP with respective wires of the OLED screen. Okay, so SCL is the purple wire and it should go inside of the 9th pin in ESP32. So we'll look for the 9th pin. Here it is. Okay, and lastly we have the gray wire, which is the SDA wire, and we want to put that into the 8 number pin on the ESP32. Right, with that our connections seem to be complete. So we'll connect the USB-C port with the ESP just like we did in the previous case. So I'll push this code, and just like that our screen now flashes "There's no mountain too great." Now in this code there are a few different things which we can tweak around and play with. For example, let me first of all just change the text here to "Hello World." I will build the code once again and push this to the ESP, and let's see the results. Now similarly you can control the position of this text from the options here. So we are setting a screen width and a screen height over here, and right now to make it center align we are dividing this by 2. But let's just say for example we make x equals 0 and y equals 0. So that means there should be no padding in x or y direction. Let me build the code once again and we'll see how this shows. So now the hello world appears at the top left of the screen with no padding in x or y direction. Yeah, that was just a quick getting started with ESP32-S3. There's tons of other things, pretty much unlimited options that you can do with this microcontroller, and we'll be doing more of that stuff in the future videos as well. And if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Till then, see you in the next video. Bye bye.